Hi, my name is Hazuki and I'm an inline figure skater and a figure skater. And one of my favorite moves to do both on inlines and on ice is the spread eagle. Now, as a self-taught skater, this one was an interesting one to learn. And though I learned it the first summer that I was on inlines and on ice, I guess, it still remains one of my favorite things to do whenever I'm skating. So I thought I'd go over with you guys some of the things that I did to teach myself this move because it's so pretty and it's so fun. It's a good time and it's actually fairly easy once you figure out how to do it. It's just getting there that's the issue sometimes. I mean, I suppose that's the same with almost everything in figure skating, so I don't know why this one's different. But I don't know, this is one of my favorites. Disclaimer here, I'm not a coach. I'm self-taught. I am not a physiotherapist or anything that knows how joints work. So take everything I say, as always, with a grain of salt. I will also mention that I have knee issues. It started before I started skating, so it's not directly causational, but just throwing it out there that be careful about your joints. A spread eagle is essentially based in being able to do second position, which is where your feet are doing this. It's where your feet are pointing opposite ways and about a foot length apart. So when I first started learning how to do a spread eagle, I do this everywhere. Whenever I was standing in line or waiting for my mom to stop talking with her friends or just standing around for whatever reason, I would do second position or overextended to try to make my feet a little bit more flexible. Now, again, be careful about your knees here because it does put some strain on both your ankle joints and your knee joints. You're going to want to know your physical limits and make sure that you don't overextend or hurt yourself. I have a distinct memory of accidentally freaking out one of my mom's friends because I was overextending my foot and one of my mom's friends freaked out because they thought my foot was broken. Being able to hold that position with your feet is really important, especially when you're on ice because that way your foot can easily turn back and then just screw you up. Here are some stretches for hip and leg flexibility that I really like for eagles. Some of these are also applicable as Ina Bauer stretches. I might do a video on that some other day because that's another thing that I taught myself how to do, and that's also another one of my favorites, but it's not as good as my spread eagle, so we're gonna hold off on that one for a little bit. First, I think this is called the froggy stretch or the yoga frog stretch. There's a lot of different names for it, and frankly, it looks a little bit weird, but it does help a lot with hip flexibility. Another really good universal one is the butterfly stretch. You probably know what this is like already, but basically sitting down, you pull your heels together and pull them as close as you can to yourself, and then if you want, you can lean forward a little bit, which will stretch out your hips a little bit more. This is a really good one for when you're warming up to go onto the ice or onto the pavement. While you're sitting down tying your skates, if you put one of your heels on your knee and then lean forward, it helps really stretch out the hip and open the hip. I use that one a lot mid-practice when I realized I didn't warm up my hips properly because it's super quick and it's super easy to just get off the ice, sit on one of the hockey benches and do that 10-20 seconds and then back on the ice without, having to take out your skate guards and having to go back to the change room and do all kinds of whatever. With your legs about a leg long apart. So in a spread eagle squat, I don't know what those are called, but I'm going to call it that for now. You want to put both your hands on your knees and push one shoulder in. It helps push out and open your hips. That's a really good warm-up as well. And finally, when you're able to do second position with your feet, if you do that while leaning up against a wall, that can help get your legs used to being extended fully and facing opposite directions. The second thing that really helped me was to do walkthroughs of spread eagles, just along the sidewalk. It's also really effective in getting you used to the entries and holding the position and getting out of it. My go-to eagle, by the way, is a counterclockwise outside eagle, where I lead with my left foot. So the way that I enter these is to do a 3-turn on my right leg, so I'm going backwards on my right back outside edge. And then I bring my left leg through, so I'm holding my eagle, and then I exit with a left 3-turn. And then you can kind of loop it, so you just kind of go in a straight line. Again, it looks dumb, don't get me wrong, but it's really helpful. So stretching and doing walkthroughs really help. But after that point, you do kind of have to lace your skates and get onto ice or pavement to learn how to do it properly. I talk about this in my How to Skate in Small Spaces video. Again, it was kind of a joke then, but it is also something that I did, and the reason why these walls have dents in them now that we will not be telling anyone about. I guess technically they were inside eagles because I was going around the inside of my room. That really helped me get used to having my feet in such a weird position. As someone who never got to do ballet as a kid and never really did dancing as a kid, having feet going like this is really weird. It's like, I feel like I don't have to tell you this because you're probably thinking the exact same thing if you're clicking on this video, but like having your feet do this on inlines or on ice is really weird, and it's like, it's kind of scary. So doing it along a wall has really helped me get used to the feeling and the idea of weird opposite feet in skates. Piggybacking off that, you should also practice your entries and your exits in and out of the eagle so that you're not left with not having a way of exiting something. Insert the Ina Bauer clip here where I just slide on my hand. After you figure out how to do an inside eagle along your walls, you're going to want to slowly inch your way. I know it's terrifying. I mean it when I say slowly. An asterisk here, it really helped me when I was first starting out to kind of pay attention to what my heels were doing. I had a tendency where my toes would just kind of swing back into being forward facing instead of this. And being really mindful about where my heels were really helped for some reason. I don't know why, but it did. Once you back away from the wall about a foot or two, then you can start working towards your outside edges. Again, I'm not saying that any of these look good while you're working on them. They'll look bad, it'll look weird, just stay with me here. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, you can do this. It looks weird right now, but once you get it onto the ice in like an open space, then it'll start looking good, I promise. You're gonna want to do these weird like almost semicircles along your wall to get used to being on your back outside edges while your feet are doing this and leaning back a little bit to keep your balance. Again, it feels weird, have the wall there or have a person there or something that makes sure that you're not going to fall, and then slowly inch away from it and slowly get used to being able to support your own weight in that way. Once you have a basic understanding of how to do an eagle, you can start working on some exercises that'll help you while you're in open spaces on the ice or on the pavement. The big one here would be to do infinity symbols or eights. Make sure you do both inside and outside. Personally, because I didn't do these when I first started out, my one outside eagle is really good, and the other one I just can't do. I've been working on it. I need to fix it. On my outside eagles, leading with my left, I can do totally fine. It's good, it's gorgeous, I look stunning, I don't know. It's a really stable eagle. And then on my right side, it's just a mess. It's a mess. So make sure that you're balancing out both sides so that you are able to do both. I think this especially applies to inside eagles because having that kind of control over your inside edges is really important for other stuff. And also, it's fun to do. I'll leave you with this one last tip. Speed is, as scary as it is, it's quite important in being able to do eagles. It's like riding like a bike in that if you don't have enough speed, you're gonna fall. It's gonna be unstable. So you do need a little bit of speed to make sure that you can do it. Also, when you're starting out, please wear wrist guards. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Especially if you're basically leaning backwards on two outside edges with your feet being all freaking weird and with speed, it's kind of dangerous. The big ones here probably would be a helmet, wrist guards, and elbow guards. I mean, it depends on how you fall, I guess, but you're less likely to fall on your knees than you are to fall backwards and like ram your elbows into the pavement. The cool thing about spread eagles is that it's something that you can do without having a toe stop. So if you're one of the people that watch my channel who only have rollerblades or like typical inlines, I guess, without the toe stop, this is still something that you can do, which is really fun and really cool. The one thing I would say is be careful of like your toe stop and your toe pick if you're switching from rollerblades onto ice or inline figure skates. But yeah, this is one of actually the first things that I taught myself how to do in inlines. I have a very, very distinct memory of like early June or July on like a sweltering tennis court trying to teach myself how to do this and failing miserably. But it was a good time and it ended up working out. So, you know, who am I to complain? I hope that this video has helped you a little bit in getting your eagle. Again, it's nice that it's a bit more of like an inclusive thing to do, not just for inline figure skaters and figure skaters, but also for people with inlines without toe stops, which is pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. I'm filming this on Saturday. This video is supposed to be out tomorrow, and that's not gonna happen. I'm so sorry, but oh my gosh, hi! There's 1,000 of you guys now. That's terrifying. But that's so cool. Thank you guys so much for 1K subs.